agree with me on some of the stuff I want to bring up about it. But
We'll
anyway,
see. Hi, everybody. How's it going? Hey, Max, your Twitter account is not under your name on your thing there, if you care about that.
You're right. It isn't, because it never saves that.
You guys will never know where to follow him on Twitter. Sorry, we're starting really late. I tweeted out the link like
There we go.
a while ago.
You did, you crazy kid.
All right. Okay, I am good to go. How's it going, everybody? Been a long day. Been a long week. Almost done with this semester. Just a little bit more to go, and then we're out of the
my final test is tomorrow. It's like 4 questions, I think, online. Gonna be a piece of cake. And then the rest of the week, I'm working dawn till dusk. But after that, I go on a mini vacation. So I just have to get through next week. Just got to get through Rogue One.
Rogue. We're going to talk about that here in a second. All right, let's start. Let me jot this down.
Really? Ooh, hot dog. Because we're going to talk about PlayStation VR.
PlayStation VR.
I assume you want to talk about.
I know what we're going to talk about. Yeah. All right. Let's begin the actual show here in 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 71 of Millennial Gaming Speak. I am your host, Logan Moore, and with me this week, as always, is Max Roberts. Hi, Max.
Hello. How's it going?
Not bad. We're doing a quick intro this week.
Boom, bada, bing. In and out.
We're getting right in and out. This is probably going to be a much shorter episode compared to our 4-hour extravaganza that happened
compared to last week. Yes, it will be much shorter.
So, Max, what's been going on with you? Anything cool? Anything fun? Because I don't know.
Cool and fun.
I don't know.
This weekend, I've been pursuing my Last of Us Platinum.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. You went back to that. I need to do that. So I really want to reinstall that on my PS4 and play through it. I want to do it on Crushing, but I just kind of want to see the story again.
No, dude, Survivor is really good. Survivor is this is my second time on Survivor, and I do love the Survivor playthrough. It's more immersive.
Is Survivor the harder one?
What's
the one that came out on Remastered?
They patched.
It was like super tough.
Yeah, they patched in one called Grounded.
That's what I'm thinking.
I will never play on that one. My Kevin has done it on both, I believe. Grounded twice.
What is wrong with you, Kevin?
Trophies. He's an addict. But the way he describes Grounded to me is very immersion game breaking to me. It's not broken. It's just like, you know, the library encounter. You remember that one?
Yeah.
It's a 2-story library. It's a 2-story library. There's guys up top and on the bottom, and there's a guy guarding the exit. Typically, a tense situation. Technically, you only need to kill the guy guarding the door. If you can stealth your way up there, all you have to do is kill him. Bow and arrow, you're good to go. I
forgot there's a bow in that game.
Yeah, it's good.
I forget that game. I forget a lot of that game, actually.
I've been surprised at how much I've forgotten too. And I'll talk about that in a second.
And you played through it a lot.
He's on Grounded. Basically, all you do is sneak upstairs and just run. Like, all he really does through the encounters is
that's
just
how
run.
it is on a lot of the harder. That's how it is on a lot of the.
Well, that's what it is
on a bunch of
particularly
different
on
games.
Grounded. Like, Grounded is one shots, man, and so he just runs.
You get shot once, you're dead.
I believe my understanding is it's pretty darn close to that. So it's not to me. Man. To me, that's
how do the clickers work then? You get touched, you're dead?
Well, that's how clickers work in general.
No.
Clickers kill you if they grab you.
About it. Yeah, that's true.
You cannot punch them. You can use a melee on them, but you cannot punch them. So if you're touched by a clicker already, you're dead. But anyway, survival is the original hardest difficulty, and that's the one you need for the platinum.
Yeah.
And Survivor is a fantastic mode. But anyway, I
could play through that and not beat my head into a wall too badly.
Yes, it is tense.
So it's kind of like Crushing on Uncharted, where it gets frustrating at parts, but it's not like undoable or anything by any means.
Yep. Yes, exactly.
Okay, then I'll play. I'll play through it on that. That'll work.
I told you this when I started the game this weekend, and I wanted to address it on the podcast. That you always give me a hard time that I say Uncharted 4 is better than The Last of Us. No,
where are we going? Where are we going here?
I just wanted to tell. I told you this weekend, and I'm going to tell everyone in our audience. I went into The Last of Us this weekend, obviously because Part 2 was just announced, so I wanted to play the game again. And my plan is to platinum it on PS3, which I'm in progress of doing now. And then later, right before the game comes out, I will platinum it on PS4, just like I did with Uncharted this year. And I went into the game open-minded. I have 2 playthroughs of Uncharted 4 under my belt. I know what the game is now, and now I can play The Last of Us again. This is my first time in 3 years playing the game. So I'm going to decide for myself which one is better. And I do think I'm going to write a retrospective about it, The Last of Us here, and put it maybe on my blog or pitch it somewhere else. But I just wanted everyone to know I'm going in, and once I beat the game here tonight or tomorrow, I'm already through the dam. I will.
So you've got.
I have winter and spring left.
You're gonna beat it tonight? What?
If what happened with me in Uncharted 3 happens, I can beat it tonight. Uncharted 3, I went in one night and I was like, all right, here we go. And then I got to this set piece and I was like, ooh, I'll just finish this one. And then I get to the next one and it's like, oh, but
winter's not too hard now that I think about it. You can hide pretty well because of the snow flurries and stuff like that. I need to play that game again.
That's only when you're in the town, though.
That's true. I need to play that game again. I really do.
It will depend on...
I will do that over Christmas break. Maybe before Christmas, assuming I get games for Christmas, which I probably will. If I do it before Christmas, and then probably work out pretty well.
Surprise, surprise, The Last of Us is a phenomenal game. It holds up incredibly well. I'm playing it on PS3, so it's kind of funny because I'm playing with obviously a PS3 controller, and so the shooting is R1 and L1.
Yeah,
it's not triggers because the triggers on the PS3 controller are convex and horrible.
And those, yeah.
It works really well. I am playing, since I'm going for the platinum, I'm playing on New Game Plus Survivor, which is kind of nice. Just because I have anytime I get a gun, it's already upgraded to the level I had it before, which is also part of getting the platinum. But it's nice. It's fun. There are parts that I forgot about this game. I forgot today when I went through the dam, I forgot that Joel tried to unload Ellie onto Tommy. Was like, here, you take her. I totally forgot about that beat.
Yeah, I forgot about that too until you mention it.
Well, yeah, and I don't.
That is right. That's why they go there.
Well, yeah,
It's been 3 years. We can talk about certain story beats like that without.
Oh, I'm not worried about that. I didn't want to say it to remind you because I know you probably going here pretty soon. I want you to be reminded of things that you play, and that's the only one I'll mention. But there are parts that I forgot about this game, and I've played it 3 or 4 times beforehand. But
you did play it all in 2013, though. And did you ever play it on PS4?
Yeah, one time on PS4. I got to the college.
Okay,
college. I got through the college on PS4. I was actually live streaming it.
Okay.
But
I was thinking about
no.
I don't know. I wanted to try some streaming out while I was on break, but we'll see.
Don't stream. I mean, you can, I guess, but I wouldn't stream The Last of Us.
Let's talk about other games that have Last in the title real quick.
Ooh.
Last Guardian came out. I've been playing it today. I got
how far
3 or 4 hours in.
Okay.
About something around there, I think. There's something about this game. There's something about this game that is special, and it's the same way I feel about Ico, whatever, in Shadow of the Colossus.
Is it how it feels like a PS2 game in a PS4 era?
No, there's something just...
All right, that was my one joke, my one jab.
There's something magical about it and beautiful, and these are a bunch of words I don't really use to describe games very often either.
You don't? No.
There are certain games. There are certain games that I will say this about sometimes, but they're... And even when I say beautiful, the game itself is not very pretty. It doesn't look like a PS4 game, or it looks like a PS4 game. It just looks like a very underpowered.
Looks like a game that's been in development for 9 years, and Sony was like, "I need you to get this out."
Yeah,
maybe.
There's something about that relationship in the game between the boy and
Trico,
the bird dog. I don't know, man. It's like tugging at my heartstrings already, and nothing really of note has happened. But I'm totally invested in that.
That's good. I'm really glad to hear that.
To happen to that dog. I'm really just
get ready for him to die.
There's certain.
I don't know anything about the story.
There's certain gameplay mechanics too. So when you start running into enemies, you can't do anything, or
you actually have to lead them. You lead them toward Bird Dog.
Well, when Bird Dog starts fighting him, Trico starts fighting him. He gets all mad, and his eyes start glowing. And he starts beating the snot out of whatever is attacking these like soldier things. And after the fight has ended, he's still like all fired up. And he can't calm down. And you basically need to like just jump on his back and just pet him. And you're like, it's okay, boy, calm down, it's okay. And then he starts to kind of ease down, and he sits, and then he just kind of lays on the ground. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, these are, I don't know, man. They're making you feel for this character, and I don't want this thing to die. Like, and I have a horrible feeling that it will. And I have not played the game to its entirety, obviously, yet. But the entire game, every mechanic is centered around growing this relationship between you and this beast, and they're doing a great job with it. And there is just, again, there is like, this is a game that I would say is like artful. And then the way I described it to you earlier, and I don't know how I came up with this, and I'm probably going to write this in my review because I think I'm going to review the game. This is The Last Guardian, from what I've played so far, is like a beautiful art piece that somebody painted on a canvas that they found on the side of the street. Like, because as gorgeous as the game is, and as much as it's messing with my emotions and tugging at my heartstrings, it's not good as far as the way it runs, the way it looks, the camera, like all the
gameplay stuff.
Yeah, and
the parts of having fun.
All of the things that we should have, all of the things, not even that we should have, all of the things that developers for the most part have figured out in 2016, this game is having problems with. Like, can you think the last time you complained about a camera to like an extreme degree in a game? Like, every now and then it happens.
I would have to say,
for the most part,
honestly, Final Fantasy 15's camera is rough.
Really? But I did hear about that a little bit.
Like, if you remove, so obviously that game's brand new, and I haven't touched it in a while because I've just been so busy, and then I was like, Last of Us time. But before that, I honestly, I'd have to rack my brain for the last game I had trouble with a camera.
I mean, there's a lot of things in this game that are like glaring issues that it has, but they're problems that shouldn't be had with the games in 2016. And I don't know if we attribute that to the almost decade-long development cycle that the game has had, or I mean, it's been in development for over a decade. It was revealed 9 years ago, but it's been.
I thought it was revealed 7 years ago, but was in development 2 years before that. So it's been a total of 9.
I thought it was revealed in 07. If I'm correct.
It was revealed in 07.
I thought I was in middle school when it happened. Could have sworn it was.
I felt like the numbers I heard was announced 7 years ago and in development for 9.
Right. I can search it up.
But I'm really glad to hear that you enjoyed the narrative bit of it so far. I'm very curious on your final thoughts.
There's not like a whole lot of like, it's a more show me rather than tell me. So there isn't like a big through line narrative or anything like that.
Right. But I don't even think there's words in it, correct?
Okay, 2009 reveal. No, there is words. The whole story is told retroactively. The boy is now an adult, and
he's narrating it.
He's narrating the story, telling what happened in this situation he was in, and it's just a voiceover.
Does he talk about how the dog never listens to him?
No, actually, the dog's been doing a good job of listening to me so far. I mean, within reason. Like I've heard some people say it takes them like 20 or 30 minutes to solve a puzzle. I haven't come into anything like that so far.
You should, and everyone else should watch Donkey's video on YouTube about it. It's like 7 minutes.
I might after I finish it.
It is very funny. Like it's not his review of it. It's just a compilation of the footage. It is very funny. I was laughing out loud. I couldn't believe, like, you know,
lolling.
Yeah, and it, you know, Donkey talking over it is just like this. You know, it's a very funny piece.
I think the game is special though, and again, it sucks because it is marred by just so many things that are turnoffs to people. Technical problems that should not be a problem. That should not be a glaring issue with a game in 2016. The camera, the frame rates dipped for me. Sometimes I don't think I'm having as many problems with it. There were a couple sections where it was really, really bad. But overall, it's been running pretty stable. The camera's the worst. The camera sucks. The camera is awful. I was already pissed with the camera 2 minutes into the game. But seriously, if you can just look past its issues, it's a very special game, I think. And I've only played 3 or 4 hours of it so far, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm really looking forward to finishing it. I mean, again, I've talked for months about how this is just a game I need to see through and play. And it's about like I expected. The controls are not good either. Like, I feel like if you were to play this game, Max, I feel like you may have these issues may be more amplified for you.
I'm
I don't know, or maybe me telling you about this ahead of time, or even reading the reviews. Reading the reviews for me kind of prepared me to know what I was going into.
I read Kotaku's, IGN's, and Jim Sterling's reviews. I watched Donkey's video, and Donkey's video like just solidified for me. I was like, I don't want to put up with any of that. Just like the things I've read just don't sound fun. But I am a sucker for narrative. I wouldn't say it is like I'm a big fan of narrative in games. And you know, if you come to me, you know, next week or in 2 weeks when you've beaten this game, and you are just singing its praises from the rooftops, I might red box it just so we can have a dialogue about it. But just like what I've seen, I've read, to me, it doesn't justify $60 at all for me. I will not buy this game. Like, it's not, but I can red box it.
And see, but again, this is a game when I'm sitting down to play, and this might sound weird because I mean, this is why most of us I think play video games, but it's not a game I'm necessarily like having fun with, but it's an experience that I'm having that I am enjoying, if that makes sense. It's not like Call of Duty or something like that. It's more of just
games. Yeah, it's more of an games have developed into a very interesting place where some games you play just for the experience and some you play for the gameplay.
Yeah.
You're not playing Resogun for the experience. You're playing Resogun because that gameplay is dope. You're not playing Forza 3 because it has this killer narrative. You're playing Forza 3 because it's one of the best driving games ever made. And then you go to games like The Last of Us, Uncharted, Shadow of the Colossus, apparently The Last Guardian. I'm looking on my shelf. You know, these narrative-driven experiences. Journey.
The Walking Dead.
You're not playing Journey for its gameplay. You're playing Journey. Well, actually, Journey's gameplay is kind of special with that multiplayer.
But the Telltale games are a good example.
Telltale's good. Which, by the way, new trailer for The Walking Dead they showed. Dope.
Have not watched it yet. I know Batman's out this next week though, so I'll have to review.
Which I was like, I wish I had known before I put my work schedule in.
Oh, are you going to be busy this week?
I'm working every morning, Tuesday through Friday.
Are you done with school?
Yeah. Tuesday to Friday, like roughly around 5 to 2 every day. And then I have Rogue One on Thursday, but you know, and then so when I get home from work, it's going to be write a guide.
Yeah.
So you're going to be busy. I'm going to be very busy next week. And it's mostly because Telltale does this spontaneous. I was hoping it would be the Tuesday after The Walking Dead, but apparently they wanted to put it out the Tuesday before. And so
that'd be a little awkward. So close to or so quick after Christmas, maybe. You would assume they're all going to be on like some sort of vacation, possibly.
I don't know, but you know, I'll manage. It'll be fine. I'll get it done. I'm excited to finally finish it. Whether that's a good or bad thing, I'm excited that it'll be done.
Yeah, that's basically how I feel. I just I want to see what happens at the end, even though I have an idea, at least for how the final scene is going to go, and the cliffhanger that will be in the season 2. That was a great Joker impersonation.
They're just going to import audio from The Dark Knight, and it's going to go, this is what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. You and I are destined to do this for all of eternity.
At least until season 2 starts.
Turn it on itself.
I'll let you know. So Batman's coming out. I'll let you know more about Last Guardian as I finish it. Let's see. What else in The Last of Us? So something we've not talked about specifically that I figured we could touch on for a second. I know we've got X-Wing here in a second.
I was just going to say, you and I both flew an X-Wing.
Did you want to talk about Yooka-Laylee at all? So I wrote my preview up. I published this last week. Did you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah. I did, because that was probably one of the many things we didn't get to discuss last week on our extravaganza breakdown. But I think Yooka-Laylee is a spotlight kind of touch on there, because I read your preview, which I thought was very well written, and
thank you.
Big thumbs up.
Thank you.
And you addressed we'll address it for our audience here, but my biggest concern watching these trailers up to this point has the game looks like it's a very, very big world with not a lot of content in it. Like it looked empty to me. It looks like there's not a lot of enemies to fight or NPCs to talk to, but you were telling me otherwise.
So I played it for 15 minutes, and after you told me that was your biggest concern, in those 15 minutes, I met 1, 2, 3, 4, about 7 characters that were in the world, and then of course the enemies and stuff that you fight throughout. And I was just in 15 minutes. I met 6, 7 characters, something.
Which is really encouraging to me because the characters in those Rare games were some of the things that made them special.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to hear that. But tell me, like, how's the game look? How's it run? What
game looks good? I mean, nothing.
Is it the spirit of it?
Yes. I mean, it's Banjo. I mean, I said it at the very end. It's Banjo-Kazooie 3. Like this, and we all knew it was, obviously, going into it. We all hoped that's what it was, but that is what this is. This is Banjo-Kazooie 3. The end. Like, that's what it is. It's Banjo-Kazooie 3, except with a bat and a lizard. So yeah, it's great. The worlds are awesome. The world, I guess, that I saw was Tribal Stack Tropics or something like that, I think it was called. It's fun just running around and seeing the different characters, trying it out, transforming myself into a flower and then go spraying some other flowers and pollinating them. Collecting all the stuff is still satisfying. You're collecting pages now instead of jiggies, so you're collecting pieces of like a storybook or something like that, I think. It's fun. It's satisfying. So the one thing that I guess we can talk about that I highlighted in my review, the only concern I had and the only problem I had playing it was the controls were a little bit wonky. And by that, I mean, they were like really overly sensitive for me. Specifically when you do the like roll move that you've probably seen in the trailers where Laylee the bat jumps on Yuka and he rolls on him like a ball.
Barrel.
Yeah, that is I kept using that move and I was like totally just like losing control, and I was like I'd hit left on the stick and I'd like fly to the left really quickly and I'd hit right, and it just became a game of auto correcting rather than like just
going straight.
Yeah. So that was a little odd.
I hope that's something they fix.
The platforming was fine though; it felt good. Some of the controls, I mean, it felt a little stiff at times as well. I don't know. It was. It still felt like Banjo though. It really did, and I don't know if Banjo now just feels like a little clunkier. I was playing Banjo-Tooie not too long ago.
Yeah, on Rare Replay, it doesn't feel that bad.
So I don't know if that's something they're going to continue to kind of adjust, or if there was a degree of sensitivity on those controls that like I could have lowered in the options menu or something like that to maybe change that for myself. Yeah, I don't know. But that was like the only thing that really stood out to me that kind of was odd. And Michael played it himself too, and he said the same thing after we finished playing it, was that the controls were just a little bit too tight and stiff at some points and
too loose in others.
So I don't think it's going to be anything that ruins the game experience for you necessarily though, because those worlds are fun. Those characters are fun. Collecting everything is enjoyable as always and very satisfying. And then there's just all kinds of stuff to collect in every world. The one thing I didn't mention in the preview, but there's 5 ghosts in each world that you can collect, which are basically Jinjos. And you collect them in different ways. So some of them you may just have to chase down. Others, I think you may have to do like a certain task or something like that to collect them. I don't know. But yeah, it's really good. I like it. You should be excited for it.
I had 2 more questions then, or 3, I guess. How like polished did that build feel? Because the game is supposed to release Q1 2017. So I'm curious how that build felt, and then do you think they'll hit Q1 2017?
It's hard to say since I had never played the game before. Like I didn't have any point of reference for knowing like how polished it was by comparison to a time earlier. The world I was in looked pretty much done though, and just that world I was in looked finished. And if not for the time cap that was on the demo, I could have just kept going and kept unlocking everything. But yeah, it looked pretty well finished to me, at least.
Okay. So then my last question for you is, what platform do you want it on? Because it's going to be on PS4, Xbox One, and I believe even Wii U. So
going for that Wii U, man.
Well, you know, it's there. I know you're not going to get it for Wii U, but
probably Xbox, probably.
It'll have a platinum.
It's true. I don't know. We'll see.
Can you imagine a platinum for that kind of a game? Collect everything. Platinum.
If we get a review code or something like that, I'm going to really want to review that game just because of how huge of a Banjo fan I am. So if I end up getting like the review code or whatever for that, then yeah, I'll review it on PS4. But we'll see. I don't know. Leaning towards Xbox still, but it's not a huge deal either way. I'm not committed to either platform necessarily.
Okay. I think PS4 just solely because of the trophies.
Gotta give the achievements a little bit of love sometimes. I'm trying to hit 100,000 gamer score. Need to do that at some point.
It's so weird. Maybe it's just because I have trophies and I'm so dedicated to it, but like I do love it when achievements pop. Like I love accomplishing something, but I don't know. I just don't feel as good. I don't know. Trophies feel better.
Trophies do feel better. I agree with you.
All right, cool. So I'm not crazy. You're an Xbox kid.
No, trophies do feel better. I was an achievement guy for a long time, but the satisfaction of unlocking a platinum trophy is unmatched. So yeah, I really like pointing to that. Platinums. But yeah, so let's talk about Star Wars in multiple facets. X-Wing VR mission came out last Tuesday as well. I wrote up a little preview retrospective piece on that as well if you want to check that out. Did you publish it?
Yep, it's up. PlayStation. I can send you a link if you want.
You could, yeah, for sure. It was great. It was really good.
I think it is the most magical VR experience I've done.
Yeah, and it's because we have a point of reference for what we're wanting out of that experience. Like we knew, like even something like Batman, like that's never anything we've necessarily thought of specifically. Like, being Batman,
I've never put the bat suit on, and putting on the bat suit and like swinging a batarang, that's kind of where I touch back on this X-Wing. Batman was the most magical VR experience up to that point for me because it just felt so cool. It's something I will obviously never get to do in real life and never thought I could do. But then this X-Wing thing came along, and I got to fly an X-Wing.
Yeah, it was really cool. I said in my piece that I thought it was pretty well paced at the beginning because they almost realized that you are going to want to look around. You're going to want to mess with the buttons and stuff like that.
So well paced because it's essentially in 3 parts. It is the intro where you're like slow, you're navigating, you're learning the characters, and you just get a look. Part 2 is here's how you shoot things at things that won't shoot back.
And here's how you fly around and avoid objects and stuff like that. Yeah.
And then part 3 is
dogfight. Go.
Yeah.
It's really good though. I mean, it's about 15 to 20 minutes long.
18 minutes is my average playtime.
I hit 17. My brother hit 16. So,
holy cow. Full throttle the whole time.
I guess so. It's really good though. I like it a lot. And more than anything, and again, I think I mentioned this it's like towards the end of the piece I wrote about it. Like this is a great proof of concept for what they could do with a full X-Wing game. And that's basically what it left me wanting because this is good. And this is like a really solid start, but I acknowledge that this is not like the greatest thing I've ever experienced in my life. And don't get me wrong, it's like one of my favorite VR experiences so far, but it's very
favorite experience. Yeah.
It's very bare bones as it is. And I would like to see what else
it is flight sim light
over the course of like an 8-hour campaign.
Yeah. It's a flight sim light. You get control over left, right, up and down with no fancy moves. You do not get to control, like, I don't know the technical terms for it, but you can't like control your Z-axis where you like tilt or left and right. Like you can't tilt, you have to turn. So it's a flight sim light, but it does leave, there's some things I want more of it. And it's not because it's lacking, it's just because this is so cool that I want more. I want I want like a 3D model, because in the beginning of the demo, you get to walk around your X-Wing. You get to teleport around
you
it
get
and
to
look at
walk
it.
around your like garage or whatever.
I would love for them to import just other models, a TIE fighter, and just be able to do that around there, or any other Star Wars just thing. And you can just look around it in a 3D space. I think would be so cool. I want a lightsaber. A PlayStation Move controller is perfect for a lightsaber because your lightsaber is never behind you, so you don't have to worry about the camera losing you in that way. And just the shape of it and like the trigger or the button for extending the lightsaber, it'd be perfect. And it's not, these are just things I want. I want more Star Wars VR basically, and I know they're working on it. They're doing something with Vive, which is a bummer, just because I can't get that, but I can't wait to see what they do with VR. And I will say this, since the VR mission is tied directly into Rogue One, the most I know about Rogue One is because of this demo, because you talk to the droid from Rogue One.
K2SO, maybe?
I think something like that, yeah. Which, by the way, I love his attitude.
Yeah, he's a little bit like snarky.
Oh, yeah, he's like C-3PO, just cranked a little more snarky and sarcastic. It's great.
He's an Empire robot. So, yeah, he's really sarcastic.
I mean, I can't wait to see him in the movie this week.
So let's talk about that for a second.
Hold on. What do you want to talk about it? Because I feel like I'm in a good spot. I've stayed away. I've avoided the premiere.
Well, I don't know. Just broad stuff. You avoid the premiere. There's nothing to be shown there.
No, like people
saw the movie.
Reactions to the premiere.
Okay, what do you think people's reactions are to the premiere?
No, it's going to be utterly amazing.
Yeah, that was the reactions to the premiere.
I cannot wait for the soundtrack.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the soundtrack as well. Even though it's not John.
It's not. That's what I thought. I mean, but Battlefront wasn't John Williams either, and they do a great job from what I've my little time with it.
Some Star Wars purists hate the Battlefront soundtrack, but I think they really capture the same tone, the same spirit of what Star Wars is. I'm really looking forward to it. So I haven't been able to get excited about Rogue One because I've been so stressed with school.
Yeah.
And Friday I finished I didn't finish. I had a video project left and we shot it all on Friday. I have to edit it now and I'll have to do that. I think it's due like Wednesday at midnight. And so I'll have to spend some time over the next day or two finishing that. But I'm getting close. I'd say I'm like 80-90% done with this semester. So I'm starting to get a little bit more excited, and I'm going up to my friend's house on Thursday to go see it with him and his wife.
Now I'm incredibly jealous of where you live because you live next to one of the real IMAX theaters.
Oh, yeah.
Downtown. I almost got to see Force Awakens in 70 millimeter IMAX, but didn't have a car, so I couldn't go. And they're doing it again with Rogue One, and I want to see a Star Wars movie in 70 millimeter IMAX. So I'm jealous. Cool. I'm jealous because you probably will go see it like that.
Yeah, me and my brother will probably go see it like that.
It's
bad to guess.
I can't. I'm excited. So.
I really.
Abby's gonna wear her Darth Vader dress.
I really, really, really like the one thing I want out of this movie is I just want there to be a scene where Darth Vader is just like fed up and he's like, all right, I'm sick of these rebels. I'm sick of them taking advantage of us. I'll do it myself. And he whips out his lightsaber and just destroys tons of people.
Yeah.
That is the one thing I want from this movie.
You want a Kylo Ren reaction.
We've never been able to see like Darth Vader go nuts on people. Every time up until this point, it has just been him solo fighting either Luke or Obi-Wan. Now he's technically Darth Vader, I guess, in episode 3 when him and Obi-Wan fight on Mustafar. But no, like I want to see Darth Vader actually just go crazy.
This is the first time in 33 years we've seen Darth Vader on screen in full capacity.
Yeah,
like we see him at the end of Revenge of the Sith, but it's a no.
Yeah. So
this is
exactly. Also, this is Darth Vader. We haven't seen this.
This particular movie, A Star Wars Story, is very important to the franchise.
Yeah.
The quality of this film determines whether these spin-offs are going to mean something, like are going to stand the test of time. Obviously, this movie financially is going to do well. Star Wars is back. Episode 7 did so well. People are just excited for more Star Wars. But from a quality perspective, from like a narrative and just the way the film looks and feels, this is important if it will stand the test of time like the other movies. I
think it will.
This is testing if we can slap Star Wars on it and it
still matters. Yeah. I mean, it's going to have a distinct different tone from the episodes. Like, there's no opening crawl. I don't know if you knew about that, but there's no opening crawl to the movie or anything. They're keeping that confined to episodes.
Wait, you mean the scroll?
Yeah, there's none of that. No. That's an episode. I kind of like that, though. That's an episode. I do.
Like, in my head, yes, but like, see, those are things we don't know. Like, well, I guess we know that, but
that was announced a while back.
This is the mold of Star Wars, and they're breaking out of it in a little ways. And I'm curious to see how it does. I cannot wait for Thursday.
It's going to be really good.
And you know what else comes out on Thursday?
No. Oh, Mario?
Yep. That was a 3D.
I was going to mention I saw Arrival and it was real good, and you should go see that too, by the way.
I told you.
It's really good.
Wasn't it? It reminded me of the Memento of sci-fi.
It was like a Twilight Zone episode. That's what it reminded me of when I left.
It was like Nolan light for me.
I mean, I really don't want to say anything. If you haven't seen it and you do happen to be listening to this, like, you need to just go see it.
You need to see Arrival.
Script and the editing in that movie are impeccable because they do exactly what I'm taught to do in school, which is show rather than tell. And that's what that whole movie does. They never outright tell you, kind of at the end. They never, and you know what I'm talking about. The opening scenes of the movie, they show you that, and then you infer things. You infer things because of that.
You put the pieces together.
Yes.
You
infer things because of what they show you.
Arrival
is what you're inferring correct.
It's probably one of the best sci-fi movies in the last decade.
Yeah, I really liked it. It was really good.
It's so good.
And I also liked, I don't want to get too carried away with spoilers and stuff, but I liked how it wasn't as much like aliens have landed, let's destroy them. It was like aliens have landed,
I thought this was
communicate with them. But of course, then the people in the movie we got to start a war with them. It's like, no, we just
I do think this is a more practical approach. Like, they handle aliens in a very real, human way. It's pretty cool. I love that movie, man. It's so good.
It's really good. I kind of want to go see it again after I saw it, but so that's out, and then Rogue One's out, and then I think La La Land's out this week too. And I really
it came out Friday. Yeah, Abby's
not
supposed
here, at least maybe down there. It was like
December 9th,
limited release.
Expanded
release the 16th. So
Abby's supposed to take me on a date to see that movie.
I'm so excited for that. I'm excited. I'm more excited for that. And
I love Emma Stone, and then that movie looks like a beautiful touchstone to musicals gone by, where everything was on a stage, like in a set, and it looks beautiful.
Damien Chazelle is my favorite writer and director currently, and he's doing that movie.
You said Christopher Nolan wrong, but I'll let you slide.
Christopher Nolan's great.
I can't wait for his new movie, man.
I forgot about that.
That World War I movie coming out next year.
It's gonna be brutal.
Oh, it's gonna be so brutal.
Damien Chazelle's great though. He did Whiplash. He did Whiplash. He did Whiplash. No, he did Whiplash, and he was also a co-writer on 10 Cloverfield Lane. So
I love that movie.
Last 2 years, he's doing.
Did you saw 10 Cloverfield Lane?
Yeah.
Holy cow! How awesome of a movie is that?
Really good.
The last 10 minutes are for Cloverfield fans. I love it. It's like you could have chopped off the last 10 minutes and it would have been this perfect suspense horror film. like just thriller, and then the last 10 minutes are like, hey, you know why you're here? Because in the Cloverfield, this is it. And it's like, yes.
It's kind of out of left field, but it works. I thought it was good.
It works if you're a fan. I love it. Abby was like, I don't get this, and I was like, this is amazing.
It was really good.
The next movie's coming too.
Yeah, it does come out early next year, I think.
No, they moved the date. It's later next year now.
Dang it.
But it's coming.
Yeah, so Chazelle's doing some good work. So he's got Whiplash, that, and then La La Land all within like 2.5 years.
You literally could chop off the last 10 minutes, and that movie would be.
No, it'd be just as good. Yeah, well,
I think it would be better for the masses.
You would need to do something there at the end of the movie.
I think when
you would need to do something to establish whether or not what the crazy John Goodman guy was saying was true or not. It doesn't necessarily have to be the way that they did it.
I think they let the imagination go. I think they show her leaving out, when she's outside and breathing the air. Yeah. I think you cut there, and then you let your mind go.
Maybe not there,
but I don't know, kind of in that area.
Yeah, you would have to do. It'd have
gets
to
in the truck, drives off, do a flyover.
It'd have to end on something, like maybe her taking off the helmet and then just like taking in a deep breath and then you stop there. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, something.
I don't know,
but that movie's so good.
You need to drop a hint. It's with something, and then maybe
that she's not gonna die. Yeah.
Or maybe she is.
I don't know. Can't wait for that movie.
Okay, let's talk about Super Mario Run. I know you want to talk about that. Let's talk about actual games. We've been talking about movies. Comes out Thursday. You're excited for it. I saw it on Jimmy Fallon, as well as the Switch stuff, as well as Shigeru Miyamoto and Bill Trinen and Reggie Fils-Aimé.
Miyamoto was playing with the roots, man.
He was, and he was also wearing some sort of Mario Samurai shirt that Bill Trinen says nobody's been picking
someone
up
figured
on.
It. It's a Japanese pun for run. It's a Japanese pun for run, so Super Mario Run.
Okay, that makes sense.
So
you played it.
I did
saw
play
it. Played. I'm not excited for it. It's just an iPhone game, and I'm sure it'll be.
It's
enjoyable,
an unprecedented. This is a landmark moment in the history of video games and Nintendo in particular. This is a very big deal. And I love their
landmark for Nintendo for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love the way they're rolling it out with. You can download it and play the first 4 levels for free. And then if you want the full game, you pay the $10. So yeah, it was on Jimmy Fallon. Reggie was there with Jimmy, and they played the game. And it was fun to watch him play. But they also announced that every Apple store had demos of this. And I walked in, and the first iPhone I see is running this demo of it. And I was like, let's do this. Surprise, surprise, it feels and looks just like a Mario game. It's kind of surreal to see a Mario game on not a Nintendo platform. It's weird and cool. The control, I think fidelity is right. The control, the amount of control you have over Mario and like the finesse you can do with jumping just by tapping on the screen as he's running is actually surprisingly really good. I particularly like the idea and feel of exploring different paths to try and find these collectible coins to unlock more different collectible coins. Like the replay value is there for a mobile game. It's actually pretty smartly done, I think. It feels really good. Wall jumps, all the stuff you can get pretty fancy.
What's up with the flipping over Goombas and stuff like that? Is that just like a quick touch?
He will automatically jump over small threats like Goombas.
So you can't die from that stuff. It's more like falling in a pit.
You can't die from a Goomba. You die from falling in a pit or bigger enemies like Koopas or piranha plants and stuff. Abby managed to die. You can die if you land. Yeah, so you can. She never played that before. Neither did I. That's fine. She getting pretty fancy with those wall jumps later. It's just so simple, but I can see where the mastery comes in. Where you're combining. You're jumping on these Goombas, doing a flip, all this stuff. There's a finesse to it. It looks good. It feels good.
How many levels is there if you buy the full game? I forget. 24, 30, something
I think 24 is the number that popped in my head as well. I think there are 6 worlds. If they're 4 levels each, that's 24. And then you also have Toad Rally, which is where you race against your friends.
Yeah.
And then Kingdom Builder, which you build your little mushroom kingdom. So that's a social aspect of it. Mm-hmm. For $10, that's perfect. That's all. And in my brain, I'm curious if they will do DLC down the line.
You would think
for more
so.
worlds. And you buy a level.
You know it's gonna sell a billion copies.
You buy a level
maybe
pack for $5.
Literally a billion copies.
Maybe. So
no,
I'm very, very excited for this game. It comes out Thursday.
Seriously, how many units will this sell? Units, if you want to call them that. How many will they sell?
Copies of this game?
Yes, you got to think about the installs base of the iPhone, which is
hundreds of millions.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So how many people are going to buy this game? $10. You get a decent amount of content. Are people willing to pay $10 for something like that? I think yes, for gamers.
I think gamers are for sure. Abby is one of the most frugal app people out there. She sits through ads. She only plays free games. She picked it up, played a level, and was like, "I'll buy this. I will buy this."
I'm interested to see what it does.
She's. I cannot begin to describe. She will not spend $1 on an app. She's those people, and she would be the person in First Coach playing an ad version of a game like Fruit Ninja because she doesn't want to spend the $1 on the app.
I do the same thing.
It doesn't make sense to me. If you want a good game, you buy a good game. I love the games I have on my phone. Most of them paid for. But anyway, it is going to be very good. Are you there day one? Obviously, I am.
Probably no.
I know you'll at least try it because you get the first 4 levels for free.
I have a shared account with my dad and brother, which I probably shouldn't have anymore.
Well, it depends on who's the family holder.
I think it's my dad.
So that means it charges his card.
Yeah. So we could all get it, and I imagine we probably will, just because
that's all of us. Yeah. Or all of you.
Yeah. So I'll probably get it. Yeah, I don't know day one or not. I mean,
I think you should download it because you do get the 4 levels for free. Like you get it.
I'll do that. I'll do that. Yeah, I forgot that was a thing. I don't know if I'll drop the $10 right away, but I'll probably check it out.
Yeah, I'm super curious to see what you think. But I turned on the sound in the Apple Store just so I could hear the music and the sound. It is a Mario game on your phone. It's so cool.
It's weird. I hope they make enough money from this to help support their Switch stuff. And I want to say mobile, but technically that's the mobile stuff now, I guess. Sort of.
This is their big mobile foray.
Yeah, I hope they make enough money from this stuff to then boost maybe they make enough money from the apps that they can then hire more developers to create games for the Switch or something like that.
Now, as you say Switch, I want to bring up something about the Jimmy Fallon bit. He's the Tonight Show, right? That's the name of his particular show?
Yes.
All right. So Reggie Fils-Aimé, Miyamoto, and Bill Trinen were all there to show off Super Mario Run. Was their initial show off, a game that comes out from that air date a week from that day. That's incredible marketing, besides the fact that it is literally on the front page of the App Store every time you go on there. It's the only app so far to have up a notification when this game goes live. Hundreds of millions of people signed up for that. Now they're showing the game in action with a personality that a lot of people like and a lot of people will see through social channels on Jimmy Fallon and all this stuff. And this is where I think Nintendo, the next thing they did, which was show off the Nintendo Switch, this is where Nintendo's marketing for the Switch began. It did not begin with that YouTube video. And I think them showing off the Switch on the Tonight Show is the beginning of hopefully super smart advertising for the Switch. The Switch,
hopefully,
they showed it off. Jimmy Fallon was freaking out. Some of that was hype.
He was freaking out.
And they showed off Zelda, huge, name. Yeah. Showed off the concept of the Switch within 5 minutes, and millions gamers know what the Switch is.
The only thing they didn't show was you can pull the things off. Jimmy made light of that though. He brought that up himself.
Yeah. And millions of people were introduced to the Switch that way. That was how the average consumer was introduced. And Reggie said,
you got to think people probably heard about. I mean, the Switch when it happened, it was big news.
People heard about it, but this was the first time people. This is when the general public knew what the Switch was.
Maybe you got to think it is like a.
And then Reggie
midnight or 12:30.
Reggie name drops. We're showing off more info in January, which
January 12th.
Which is a month from this video. So that's like a short period of time for people.
Yeah.
You know, we've known about January for 2 months now. We're like, come on, please, please, please. And then he also said, this comes out in March. So people are like, in 3 months, I can buy the new Nintendo system? To the general public, that's a Fallout move. That's a Bethesda move. Here's Fallout 4 out in 6 months. Nintendo, to the general public, here's our new game system out in 3 months. I think this is the beginning of their marketing, and I think that was a very smart business move. And I know you and I talk about how they've made such poor business moves. You and I have known about this thing for almost 2 years now.
Again, this is what frustrates me, though. Who are the people who have been keeping Nintendo alive this past year? And maybe not alive necessarily, but who are the people who have continued to be ride or die? The hardcore gamers.
Hardcore gamers.
We do not care that your coming out party to casual audiences was on Jimmy Fallon. And then, hey, maybe this is good for casual audiences because now they know that, oh, next month that this is happening. Great. We've known about that since October. And so that sucks for us. Because again, and this is everything with Nintendo. Everything Nintendo does is casual friendly, but is not hardcore gamer friendly in a lot of ways.
That Switch reveal video was not casual. There was no gimmicky stuff. There were no kids. This was showing you what the machine does. And if you look back at I do think they showed
my
Skyrim
point though
for
is that
sake. The first game they showed was Skyrim,
which
or Zelda, technically
to come out on the Switch.
I know, but that video clearly was addressing hardcore gamers. I think.
Yes, but again,
they're going to come at us.
Nothing to again, they've done nothing to earn our trust back because, like you just said, they're trying to earn the casual audience again and get them ushered in and ready for this event. I don't think
that's what they're trying to do. I think that was their way of introducing it, which I think is a good marketing move. That's good advertising for they're not just going to sell it to us. They have to sell it to millions of other people. And I think that was a good big first step. January is the big proving ground for us, for you and me. And I think after January, they kick it into high gear on advertising this thing. I think you're going to see the Switch logo a lot of places after January. For you and me, January.
I would hope so, and I hope you can also pre-order it because my gosh, please do not do what you did with NES Classic again.
And I think they made the right for global campaign. I think they made a first right step forward. And I thought, we talk about how they have such lately bad business moves. I think this was a really good one, a really nice, big, good one. Maybe not for you and me, but
I don't know if business. I don't know if it's a big move necessarily. It was a move.
People. I saw a tweet Bill trying to retweet it, and granted, this is one tweet out of millions of people. It was some guy was watching the show with his dad, and his dad was like, "That is the coolest video game system I've ever seen." And that's a dad, sitting in his recliner drinking a beer, going, "That is awesome." Will he buy one? Probably not.
Probably not.
They show, to me, that's a testament to what their mission on Jimmy Fallon was, not to convince you to buy a Switch. It was to convince millions of people this is cool and you want one. And I think they did that. I think they effectively did that.
Maybe. I don't know. Sales numbers will tell us.
Sure.
I think you're over dramatizing it just a hint. I think it was a good PR move for them to go on there. Did it sell millions of Switches that night? No, probably not. You gotta remember.
I mean, it's not the idea of it.
Even though the Tonight Show is kind of a family-friendly show or whatever.
I think they did. You got to remember Wii commercials. You remember those Wii commercials? We would like to play.
Yeah, but you got to remember when is this show? And what I'm about to say is kind of negated by the fact that YouTube is so prevalent and they upload this stuff to YouTube the day after.
My mom found it on Facebook and tagged me in it.
Yeah. So, I mean,
my mom's not keeping up with gaming news.
Yeah, I mean, most of the people who saw about it probably didn't see it the night it happened because, again, it's like past midnight when this stuff's coming on and happening. Yeah, you doubt parents and their kids are up watching this stuff because the kids are probably tucked in.
I don't.
You don't think so? You think kids are up late at night?
No. I was saying no. I didn't watch it. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I mean, again, I think it was a good move by them. It was like a no doy move. I don't know if the Tonight Show pushed them to get him on there, or if Nintendo approached them. Either way, like it's a fun. I don't know. I don't think people who casually watch that video on YouTube or saw it live on TV are now going to tune into whatever their thing is next month necessarily.
No.
But hey, I mean, it got the attention out into the zeitgeist or whatever. Let's keep moving on though. More Switch talk. Supposedly, leaks from the past week have indicated that, and people within the know, more of those video game insider folks, are saying that GameCube Virtual Console is going to be coming to the Switch, which will mean HD GameCube games will be on the Switch, which means cool.
The big three they talked about: Sunshine,
yes,
Luigi's Mansion, and arguably the biggest, Melee.
I don't care about Melee. I don't.
I know you don't, but
it's big. That's big for the community. I get that.
The level of like nailing the emulation for this has to be perfect, or the community will completely shun it.
Yeah,
like the competitive community. If I saw a post on Facebook, and they're being hyperbolic about it, I will buy Melee on Virtual Console and feel totally fine, unless it feels like just generally awful, like it's just super bad emulation. But I saw communities like, I think they were talking about an HD remaster, but they were like, if they even get one frame wrong, the entire meta of this game is changed. I was like, oh goodness gracious.
I mean, this is see, that's the thing,
and that's hyperbolic, and that's
the people who are still the Melee purists are gonna want to make sure that it's not just a casual port. I don't know. GameCube Virtual Console could be cool. I don't know.
But Logan, we
mixed on it.
Finally get Thousand Year Door portably.
That would actually be cool. That would actually be cool now that I think about it. No, that would actually be very cool. That'd be very cool. Okay, let's do it.
There are rumors of having the GameCube adapter from Wii U work with it, which works at home because it has the two USB ports.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think that has to work. Especially since we know that, or not know, but especially since we kind
Smash Wii U.
Smash Wii U is probably coming to Switch as well. So that would just have to make
sense.
About it.
You can, this is going to be, if they nail Virtual Console right, this is every Nintendo system in one.
Maybe. Probably.
If they nail Virtual Console right, SNES, NES, GameCube.
Is it? They do Wii?
They have Wii Virtual Console games on Wii U. Yeah, I don't see why not. Now, I guess.
Wii's kind of backwards compat. I don't know. I don't know. I'm still curious if Wii U games are not coming to Switch, and except through port, obviously.
Remasters. Yeah.
So you won't have access to that catalog unless it's remastered or whatever. They need to leave Wii for dead. I don't want to be able. I just don't want to be able to hook my.
You don't want to play Galaxy.
I don't want to be able to hook my Wii controllers up, tether them to my Switch. I just don't.
That's true.
And you would still need a stupid motion sensor bar, no matter what they do with the Switch.
I think those Joy-Cons are going to have motion in them.
You would still need something to point at the screen, though. Like, I think they need to leave. They need to leave Wii for dead. Leave Wii for dead. They've ported over the good games.
Well, everything up to the GameCube though. That's an incredible library.
Yeah, that's fine.
one that personally speaks to you and me, because those.
No, those are the ones we grew up with. Those are the important ones to us. I agree.
And I think having GameCube Virtual Console is something I've wanted for a very long time. A lot of people have wanted.
So this is my thing. Would they all be remasters then, or would they just be like straight ports?
It would be Virtual Console, I would think. So it would just be it would nation of it.
Yeah. I don't know. On both ways, because I've always been the one saying like I would prefer like full on remasters of them or whatever. I mean, I'm sure this could do well, and it would just get us the games.
Certainly, if GameCube Virtual Console was there day one, and those three games were launch titles, I'd for sure buy Melee and Luigi's Mansion, and I might just buy Sunshine.
Old stuff. But no, I'm not denying that it would be cool. But again, we've had this conversation a few weeks ago. Wii U games to Switch, old games coming to Switch. That's cool. We've had them. GameCube games coming to Switch. That's cool. We've played those. Like. I'm looking forward to the January 12th event because I'm looking forward to the January 12th event because I want to see what the actual new games are that they are showing. Yeah. Are we going to see Pikmin 4? Are we going to see the new Mario, which we've heard rumors that you will? Are we going to finally get a freaking release date for Zelda? Is it going to be March? Is it going to be June? Probably June, it seems like.
I feel
what
like
are the new games that are coming though? The things that I have not experienced before, because I
and that's
like
a big
this
important
tech.
part of it.
It is like I want to know why I need to buy this outside of the games that I have played and the games I do love and the games I do enjoy, but the games I'm not really fond of dropping another $60 for necessarily.
All they have to say, $1,000 Door virtual console, you can take it on the go.
I'd be down with that.
I literally,
you could play Sunshine.
You know what would be? Yeah, I could finally play Sunshine. You know what?
Of course,
would be
it may
crazy?
look like trash compared to the new one if the new one's really good, which you assume it would be the new Mario game.
One thing I would love to see, and I doubt this will ever happen, because actually, technically, I guess up to this point, they've been able to do it, but from the Wii up. I would love to see some weird way to import your GameCube memory card so you could have your save datas on those games.
That's going back like 10 years. That's like saying...
I know, but...
That'd be pretty hard.
GameCube. It would be, and I doubt it will happen, but I'm sure there's some adapter they could just technically make you buy.
That's never happened.
And then Wii to Wii U.
That's such a specific thing to you.
No, yeah, I know. And believe me, I 100% doubt it will happen. It's something I'd like to see. I don't think it will. One thing, there were a couple of rumors beforehand about it possibly using USB-C to charge, which is cool for two reasons. USB is the future of USB, and it's becoming more and more popular, which it's like this universal charger that works with everything that has USB-C. It also means it charges very fast. So that means you can charge your Switch pretty quickly, whether you want to take it on the go, which could be a very enticing thing. And then that it was seemingly confirmed on Jimmy Fallon when people freeze framed it when they were passing it and could see shape to be a USB-C port on the bottom.
That would be nice. We're still just waiting for this event, though. I hope this event. We're excited. I hope this event.
I know, and you know what? I think it's going to be here a lot sooner than you think, because Star Wars this week, Christmas next week.
I'm not waiting with bated breath. I totally forgot it was even a thing until they mentioned it on that on the Tonight Show. So I totally forgot about it myself. It'll be here in no time. This year's gone fast, even though it's sucked, except for the Cubs. That was the only good thing. It's weird. The Cubs broke the curse, but then I think they cursed the world by proxy. I don't know. I'm excited for Switch. I am. I hope it's good. I hope it gets me excited again. More than anything. The things that would get me excited about Nintendo more than anything is if they said cross-buy, that's a thing. Hallelujah. If they said, hey, we're going to have some freaking good internet on this thing for once, because you know what? All of our other internet networks have sucked on every other machine. If they would say...
Would you pay for a yearly subscription?
Up front, no. If I got a Switch and sunk my teeth into it and I realized it was good, yes. Up front, though, no. I don't trust them with anything internet related until they prove to me that there's a reason to invest.
Did you ever play Brawl Online?
I think Brawl? No. And if I did, it was really bad. I think I may have played Wii U online once or twice. Still not that great.
I've played Brawl Online before. Those were dark days.
Yeah, that was not good. Friend codes are still so stupid. Again, and I know they're tailoring a different experience from Xbox and PlayStation, but there's still just certain things that you feel like should be present.
And, January 12th is when we're going to find out about a lot of that. But a little bit of Switch news came out, and that's exciting. I feel like there was one other thing I read. GameCube Virtual Console is the big thing that I was reading. Poor man. Can't wait to hold one of these. I still remember holding a 3DS in my hands for the first time. In classes, because that was something I didn't believe. I was like, "There's no way this works."
No, everybody's lying to me. The media's lying.
Yeah, it was like it's
crooked media.
Yeah, crooked media, but it was so cool. Like, it's such a memorable moment for me holding a 3DS and I was like, it really looks like there's depth to it. I remember all my Nintendo systems. It's a great time. But anyway, that's our Switch news. We will have more in the future.
Max, I'm calling an audible this week. No break. We've only got one topic. We're just going to keep going because why the heck not? We're only about We're only about an hour in. We don't need to take a break. It's gonna be a shorter episode this week. We've got one topic this week, which is Max's, and it's about Japanese open world games of sorts.
Well, I wanted to say Japanese or foreign open world games, because one example is not Japanese.
The Witcher.
Yeah, The Witcher is not a Japanese game. It is a Polish game.
So tell me what you wanted to hash out with this, I guess.
Final Fantasy 15 came out, and it got me thinking about it. A lot of people, this is the first open world Final Fantasy game.
How is it? We didn't really talk last episode or this episode. What initial impressions quickly, just out of curiosity?
I like it. I love the boy band bro out road trip vibe.
Would I like it? Yeah, because I'm getting really close to buying it for myself.
Do you like the combat in Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, it's fine. It's good.
Okay, you'll like combat in this game because the combat is oh so stylish and oh so satisfying. I love the premise and the bond of these 4 characters. The world is pretty cool. It's pretty cool to explore. I like them. It's an open world game, and it has really good mechanics that I like. I'm about 5 hours in. I'm only 1 chapter deep. 5 hours, 1 hour.
Well, that explains why we haven't talked about it very much.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of impressions. And then I was like, all right, here we go. And then Last of Us Part 2 was announced, and I finished reviewing what I just finished. Amnesia. I finished those games, which whatever. Now
read the review. It sounds like from what I read on your review, it sounded like you didn't hate the games, but it's just a bad port.
It's a really bad port. The game, like I think I said at the end, it was like there's a heart here.
Yeah,
it's just in a mangled, disgusting corpse.
Yeah.
Particularly Machine for Pigs. I really wish that game just ran better. But anyway, Final Fantasy 15, good so far. Can't wait to dive in more during the break, and once I have Last of Us under my belt. Anyway, that game came out, and it's the first Final Fantasy game open world. Big Japanese studio, Square Enix, making this open world game. Recently, I've noticed that's kind of been a trend in Japan. They're looking at Western open world games and adapting them. We've got the Phantom Pain. Phenomenal. You never thought Metal Gear would work in open world, and then you play it, and it's like you can't play Metal Gear in any other way. It's the best gameplay the series has ever had, arguably.
We need to have a spoiler, or I need to tell you what happens in that game at some point.
But we're saving that for that show we want to do, so that's why you can't tell me yet. We're getting Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This is not only Zelda's first open world, it's Nintendo's first open world game. First party published, developed, which I cannot wait to see what Nintendo does with an open world game. Because Nintendo always has a creative spin and the heart and what makes it a Nintendo game and everything they try. Look at Splatoon just as a third-person shooter. In a market that is oversaturated with shooters, I just read a statistic. It's over 50% attach rate in Japan. The people who own a Wii U and own Splatoon. It's an insane attach rate for Splatoon. Like the competitive scene in Japan is nuts. And they made a Nintendo shooter, and it's really good. So I'm curious to see what they do with an open world game. But we're getting Zelda in open world. Xenoblade Chronicles X came out, another big open world game that a lot of people like. And then for foreign, I have Witcher 3. And so far, particularly with Witcher 3, just because that's a game I played front to back, hopefully with Zelda, you've played Phantom Pain all the way through. I've dabbled a little bit in Final Fantasy. They seem to be taking open world games from the West, like your Fallouts, your Skyrims,
your Ubisoft games,
your Assassin's Creeds, putting their Japanese twist on it. And to me, they seem a little better. Now, to be fair, most American open world games I've played are those Ubisoft games that Ubisoft check off the boxes on the list. You certainly have played more American open world games. And I'm curious as your thoughts on that alone, the Japanese seeing a Western trend and adapting it. And then I'm also curious, do you think the West will respond and start looking at what Japanese open world games do?
Let me start by saying I think the West still has the GOAT, the greatest of all time, when it comes to open world games, which is unequivocally and obviously Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto is the open world game that started it, kind of.
GTA 3 was a game changer.
Yeah. So, and while GTA 5...
No one does open world like Rockstar.
No. And so between GTA and Red Dead,
which we're getting the sequel to.
Yes, which we're getting next year. They're the kings of the open world, in my opinion. And I think you would probably agree with that.
The only Rockstar open world game I've played front to back is GTA 5, but I would unequivocally agree with you on that. There's a reason you don't get a Rockstar game every year or two. It's because they craft these things, and I cannot wait to see what Red Dead does.
So the belt still rests in the West. We still have the belt, and the East is coming for it. But you make a great case here. Like, they really design philosophies in Japan and in different parts of the world. Where's Witcher developed? Like Poland or something like that?
Yeah, Witcher is developed in Poland. CD Projekt Red.
They have started really changing it, and I think the problem with the Western games and open world games is that they've become stagnant and they've become too samey. And like, as much as I like Ubisoft's open worlds, they're all very similar for the most part.
There's a reason people describe them as it's a Ubisoft game. Like, yes. It's almost it's not
an insult, but it's just a way for you to understand what it is.
Yeah, it's an adjective at this point, and it's not, like you said, it's not a bad one. It's like there are a lot of people that love those checklist kind of games. It's like, go in here, have fun, do this, and this. Mm-hmm. And they've said that they're getting ready to change some of that with the new Assassin's Creed game next year. So I'm curious what that does. But anyway,
curious to see that as well. So yeah, I West still obviously is the best, but they are a little bit too samey. Bethesda did change a bunch of stuff, though. I will give Bethesda credit with both Fallout and Skyrim. That changed a lot, I think. In
3 and Skyrim?
Fallout 3. Especially first person.
Yes. Wise. And one of the things I wanted to say with Fallout, granted, I have not played them, but a common complaint that I've heard with Fallout 4 was it was just Fallout 3, but bigger, slightly prettier. Like, there was
like no unique landmarks in the game that I can think of. Like, there's no one spot in that game where I'm like, oh, that was a cool spot.
There's no Nuketown, but
there's like 20 that I can think of in Fallout 3 that I'm like, that was a cool spot. That was a cool spot. That was a cool spot. So, yeah, continue. Sorry.
Well, so obviously that's kind of the first time we've seen Bethesda. You know, they had Morrowind and then Oblivion and Skyrim, and I can't speak to any of those. Obviously, I played like an hour of Skyrim. So I have no touchstone for the past. But in the case of Fallout, it looks like they not fell in a rut, but they took baby steps.
They didn't iterate. Yeah.
So I'm curious.
I mean, I'd say the leap from Oblivion to Fallout was pretty big. It was just, it's probably pretty comparable, honestly. Considering what both of those worlds were doing. The leap from Oblivion to Skyrim, huge, I think, personally. Just with the terrain and stuff they did with that and creating like living characters in that world, whether it be giants or dragons or whatever. I think that's what was impressive about Oblivion more than anything was that, okay, Skyrim was that they created a huge open world similar to Oblivion, but then they filled it with things that would happen just randomly, intermittently.
Dragons.
The leap from Fallout 3 to 4 though is not
substantial.
No, it's not. And that was part of the reason I was disappointed with the game. Again, it's weird to say I was disappointed with the game because I put like a ton of hours into it and I did enjoy playing it, but it just was more. There was no iteration that I felt like
almost like a 3.5,
something like that. Yeah.
You know, because again, I don't know. One thing I think about, it just popped in my head, Far Cry 3, phenomenal game.
Yeah.
And then 4 and Primal came out, and there's, especially with 4 and Primal, but what I've heard, especially with 4 and Primal, is it's like a 0.5.
You didn't play 4, did you?
Or Primal, no. Because
4 was more mountainous, but it definitely wasn't like
because what I
increase from
what I saw in
3 compared to 2 was like, whoa, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, what I saw from 4 was like, I don't want to play this again. Like, I'd rather just play 3.
4 was solid. I forgot that I played that game though. I think I got the platinum in that game. You
got the platinum in 4?
Almost positive, yeah.
Okay, I believe you. So what? So do you think the
I
West? Do you think the West is going to look at these Japanese games, these Phantom Pains, these Final Fantasies, and hopefully Breath of the Wild, and go, we need? I do think they're looking at Witcher and going, we need to change some things because Witcher is the most awarded game of all
Witcher
time now.
for sure. Yes.
But the Japanese, do you think
Final Fantasy I can't speak to as much just because I haven't played it and seen it
myself. Or I can. I only have 5 hours and I have no.
Metal Gear was interesting though. Metal Gear may change things down the road, and I feel like it definitely Metal Gear's impact was huge last year. Don't knock that over, Jake. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Metal Gear's thing, yeah, it's a great game. There's a box. You can slide on the box. Downhills, box sledding.
Yeah, I think Metal Gear is obviously like is going to change a whole bunch of stuff. Give me 2 seconds.
All right, I'll talk to people about sliding on the box and stuff. So Logan's talking to his brother. It's cool and all, but yeah, it's kind of been on my mind, and this trend is interesting to me, and it's cool to see these games coming out.
Okay, sorry. I think my brother was about to unplug the Wii U, and I was just telling him we're going to be done here shortly, so that he can have that upstairs. Yeah, I think Metal Gear 5 definitely changed everything because I think what's interesting about these Japanese open world games necessarily is that they're not compromising gameplay because of the size of the open world, if that makes any sense. I guess a lot of the ones in the West aren't necessarily either, but like they're finding a way to iterate both on the gameplay in their series while also finding a way to make that new improved gameplay work in an open world space. Like for instance, the way that you move Snake around in Metal Gear 5 and the way you control him and the way he works and stuff is so much different, but they also found a way to make that work in an open world space, which I think is interesting. Some games I don't think necessarily do that as much. Watch Dogs kind of comes to mind. Like it just felt
you're talking about Watch Dogs.
Yeah,
1.
Watch Dogs 1. I haven't played 2, even though I really want to. Just felt kind of stagnant and like unintuitive. Like it wasn't doing anything really special in that world gameplay wise. And the world itself was also pretty boring, but it needs to feel alive. I think that's the most important thing with these
open worlds.
With these open worlds is that they need to feel like there is your same concern like you had at the top of the show with Yooka-Laylee. Is it filled? Is it full? Is there stuff going on? I think that's something that Metal Gear 5 did pretty well with just all the outposts everywhere and things like that. And
that was a very Far Cry 3 thing.
Yes, it was. And another thing with open worlds is like they don't need to be your playground necessarily. They just need to be a way which you can have some freedom to move around and not feel so confined, because I wouldn't say like GTA in some respects is almost like you get to just go crazy and have fun. And that's the kind of open world game there compared to Metal Gear 5, where it's less about being open to give you freedom to go nuts and more about being open to give you multiple angles to come at a certain situation. Yes, something like that. I don't know if any of this is making sense. I'm just kind of drawing correlations to random different trends and things that I'm seeing. But no, you are right for sure. I think the West, and GTA really kind of kicked off the whole open world trend. And it is interesting to see Japanese developers specifically kind of follow suit and try to iterate on that themselves.
Yeah.
And one game I know that neither you or I play is Yakuza, but I think Yakuza has been doing the open world thing for a while, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I think it has, which may be something we should play, especially with the new one and the first one coming out.
Yeah, Yakuza 0 as well as Yakuza something else.
But, seeing particularly the Phantom Pain and Final Fantasy 15 come out of Japan, I'm very... like that is a big part of why I'm so excited for Breath of the Wild, because we're getting one of the best developers in the industry making an open world game in a way that obviously they only will know how to or think of to. And Zelda worlds have always had an element of feeling alive and discovery and adventure, and translating that into an open world game for the first time technically since the first game, or maybe Wind Waker you could describe as open world. But I'm very eager to see it. You know, everything they showed at E3 was like just a tiny percentage in that game. And granted, you know, it's not quantity over quality here, but Nintendo doing open world is very intriguing to me, very exciting about the possibilities there. And then that is seriously the I am truly anticipating.
Yeah, I want to see to what extent Mass Effect Andromeda is going to be open world. Obviously, it's not open world in the like normal sense of what you imagine when you think of games like that. But I am interested to see what they do with like a new Mako type vehicle again. The Nomad is what I think it's called. Keep trying to remember this. Trying to get the new lore under my belt. I'm going to be interested to see how you can traverse around different planets with the Nomad this time around and compare that to 2007 when Mass Effect 1 came out and see how much different it is 10 years later. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't know. There's a lot of interesting trends in the industry once you kind of dig a little deeper into it and realize what's happening. That's a interesting one that you brought up. I keep saying interesting. That's a common adjective I think podcasters use. No, but I think that is a good correlation that you're drawing there to see that developers are realizing, and Japanese developers are realizing that has become like really popular trend in games is to take it open world. I mean, even Kojima did it. So why not try it with Zelda and see how it works? And maybe the new Mario is, who the heck knows? That one world maybe we saw in the Switch trailer was like the open world hub of sort. I mean, I guess Mario games are always sort of like that, or there's like an open world hub of sorts, but then you go to different worlds from there. Yeah, that's kind of Mario formula now that I think about it. I miss Mario games like that. I really hope the new one's like that.
I can't wait.
But yeah, I need to play Final Fantasy for myself and see what that's like. I will have no point of reference for what it's like compared to the others, but I still need to play it. I'll probably get it here down the road.
Which I think is a cool thing, particularly. I can't wait to play that game again, but, you know, duty calls. I have to do The Last of Us.
Duty calls. Speaking of which, I want to play Call of Duty really badly. I'll probably rent that over the break and play that in a day or two.
I'm sure that's a weekend shooter for you.
Yes.
Boom, boom, boom.
Weekend shooter. So I've been thinking, one last thing I'll end on I'll mention before we end. The more and more I think about it, the more I want to give Doom Game of the Year, just because Doom's in hell. This year's kind of been hell. This world has sucked. It seems like Doom is the perfect game to represent this year for Game of the Year.
You know, so why not give it to you? I need to figure out how we want to do Game of the Year. We'll talk off the show for that. You and I will talk off air.
Well, the one thing I do know is that it'll happen probably early January, because I need time to sit down with some games that I'm probably going to get for Christmas.
Finish The Last Guardian.
Finish The Last Guardian. I want to play Watch Dogs 2. I want to play Watch Dogs 2. I want to try Dishonored 2. I want to get into Call of Duty. I want to finish Battlefield 1. There's a decent amount of things I want to play around with, tool around with. Final Fantasy 15 as well. I'm not going to finish all of these things, but I feel a need to try them out. So we'll do that. Probably early January will be when our Game of the Year episode is. So we'll just put out a solo episode like that. So yeah, maybe around 74, 5, something around there, I'm thinking. But again, you and I will start putting that together off the air.
Dude, we've been going on 21 minutes too long. The Fate of the Furious trailer dropped 21 minutes ago.
Oh, shoot. I forgot. Well, I also forgot you got to get going, don't you?
I do need to leave, but I'm going to watch this trailer.
We'll wrap up. Thank you, everybody, for listening to episode 71. We hope you enjoyed it. We had a great time recording it. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe Max didn't. Who knows? You can find us on Twitter. Logan, I am at Moreman12. Max over there, he is at Max the White. You can find the show's Twitter. It is at MGS Podcast. We always tweet the links out to the new MP3s that go live. So when the show goes up as an MP3 format on SoundCloud or iTunes or all that stuff, we tweet that out every week. So follow that there if you want to see that, or you can subscribe to us on iTunes. And while you're at it, leave us a 5-star review. That way we can get the show in more people's ears. But yeah, subscribe on iTunes. That's a good way to get the show every week, because your feed will just upload and it'll be like, boop, here's episode 71, boop, here's 72, and so on and so on and so on. We also have a podcast email address that is mgspodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up there with any questions, comments, or concerns that you may have. And we are on YouTube. Please like, share, comment, subscribe if you're watching the video. That always helps us out a whole bunch. We would appreciate it. And that is it. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We hope you enjoy Star Wars. I can't wait to talk about it next week. Episode might be late next week. I don't know if I can record Sunday. We'll see. We'll figure it all out. Blah, 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 blah. Stay tuned. We'll figure it all out as we go. Until then, we hope you have a great week. Go see Arrival, and then go see Star Wars, and then go see La La Land after that. There's a bunch of good movies coming out at the end of the year.
Moana was excellent.
Oscar consideration. Moana was good.
Really good.
Really good.
Like, I can't stop singing the soundtrack.
You're welcome. Anyway.
Hey, have you seen Moana?
No, but I just followed The Rock on like Instagram and Twitter.
Did you hear the song? The song is so good.
No.
You never knew you wanted The Rock.
Parts of it.
You never knew you wanted The Rock to rap more than you heard.
No, I can't go. I can't support that movie because that evil man who created Hamilton wrote the music for it.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Actually don't hate that guy.
Shakespeare of our time. I gave a final project on that.
Shakespeare of our time.
Yeah, I gave a final project about how Lin-Manuel Miranda is a modern day Shakespeare.
All right, I'm gonna.
I'll play The Last Guardian.
A little bit too carried away.
I'll play The Last Guardian if you listen to Hamilton.
You know, I listened to it the other day and I was like, this is real dumb.
You didn't listen to it?
Yes, I did. I told you I did. This was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. But I told you. I was like, I listened to Hamilton. It's real dumb.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. Promise you.
How much you listen to? One song?
I don't know. I was like, don't throw away your shot, man.
Yeah.
Don't throw away your shot, Alexander. All right.
One of the best songs.
Let's end it.
You listen to it. Do it in its entirety. Give it justice.
That ends the show. Have a great week, everybody. Really enjoy Star Wars. Can't wait for it.
Enjoy Star Wars. Awesome. Think about it. Next time we record, we'll have seen it. That's crazy. All right. Have a wonderful week.
Bye, everybody.
Adios.